Wagwan road boy, I'm glad that you made it this far into this video. Let's talk about my experience with this airgun and about its pros and cons. First up, some general things I want to talk about. This airgun is advertised in 4.5mm BB, meaning these small steel balls that you saw in the video. But as you also saw in the video, the 4.5mm pellets or Diabolos also work just fine. Regarding the chronograph test, I did make another chronograph reading when I first got this airgun, but I didn't film it. And there were 23 degrees outside and not 15 like in this video. And then I was able to even reach up to 11 or 12 joules with the right pellets. Just so you know. This lever action rifle also makes great use of the CO2 cartridges, meaning that you can do a lot of shots with it before it gets empty. I also want to talk about scopes again. Red dots or anything of that kind are no problem at all. But when it comes to bigger scopes, sniper scopes or anything of that kind, you do need to make sure that there's nothing directly over here where the shells get ejected, because otherwise that won't work. One could say that you could just put the big scope more to the front, but then it's kind of far away from your eye. So just keep that in mind. Umarex also makes some different models of this airgun, more traditional models with a different finish and different colors. And in that case you have iron sights on here and not the Picatinny-Rail. And not only is this airgun available in a different finish with different colors, but also it is available in 6mm BB. And then you could take it to an airsoft game, for example. I bet you get a lot of style points for this, but I don't know if the shell ejecting part is really something you want on the airsoft field, especially when playing outside, because trust me when I say this, you will lose a lot of cartridges. Even I lost almost all my cartridges during the filming of this video, and I didn't run all over the place, like you would in an airsoft game. What I really like about these cartridges, besides the fact that it's just cool to cycle them through here, is the fact that you can use them with some other airguns, like the Colt Peacemaker, which I just made a video about. And I was just glad that I did not have to buy cartridges for this one and then different cartridges for the revolver too. As you saw in the video, you usually put 2 12-gram CO2 cartridges in here. And probably most of you know that once you puncture these CO2 cartridges, it's advised to empty them in one session and not to store this airgun over a long period of time with all that pressure in here. If you decide that you don't want to shoot as much on whatever occasion, then you also can put one empty CO2 cartridge in here and then one that is full. The pressure is the same, meaning the power should be the same as well, but there's just not that much air available, meaning less shots. Let's talk about the bad things of this airgun, but there are only 2. So when I first got this airgun, the first thing that I did was to play with the lever, right? As probably most people would. So after doing that for only a few times, I already noticed that the color of the hammer wears off very fast. You can also tell that the paint wears off very fast at this part where you insert the cartridges. I don't mind that much, to be honest. The used look kind of adds to it, I feel like, but it's something to consider as well. And the second bad part about this airgun is the plastic. It just feels a little cheap, to be honest. Having these accessories helps a lot because you don't actually touch the plastic that much, especially here in the front part. You probably won't be able to tell from the camera, but when you hold very tight onto here, you can feel it moving a bit. But as mentioned, this accessory helps a lot actually, and it's practical because you can quickly reload, right? But that was it. I feel like the positive things about this airgun outweigh the bad things, and I would actually recommend it for anyone who's into cowboy guns and lever action rifles. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Blessed love. You know, just sounds right.